Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Crack IELTS with Simmer. If you are new here, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get all the latest updates on IELTS preparation. So in today's video, we are gonna talk about everything you need to know if you are starting to prepare for the IELTS examination. So let's get started. A lot of questions strike our mind when we have to start our IELTS preparation. Example, where to start my IELTS preparation? How to start my IELTS preparation? Do I need a teacher? Do I need to join some coaching classes? Can I prepare by my own? And things like that. And I think it can be really overwhelming when we are starting a new journey in our life and we don't have enough guidance and support. So the first thing I want to tell you all is that every individual is different and everyone's journey in IELTS is different. So maybe something that applies on myself might not apply on someone else, and something which is applicable on someone else might not be applicable on me. So what I'm gonna share with you guys today is the tips and the things that are valid and applicable to most of you. And you can obviously choose to modify or adapt it as it is appropriate for you. So let's get started and talk about some of the things that you need to know when you are starting your IELTS preparation. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is the test type. So once you decide to take the IELTS exam, the first thing you need to know is the correct test type. So IELTS test is delivered in two test formats. So first one is IELTS academic module and the next one is IELTS general training module. Now what's the basic difference? So as the name itself suggests, so IELTS academic module is the one who are appearing for the IELTS examination for academic purposes. So if you're applying for a study visa for any English speaking country, let's say Australia, Canada, US, UK, so the test that you're gonna appear is IELTS academic module. Please excuse me, for UK visa there's a different component of IELTS which I'm not gonna talk in this specific video. So where we're talking about just the two major components that are applicable to most of the countries. So IELTS academic module and IELTS general training module. So general training module is for those who are applying for either work visa or permanent residence. Skilled visa, for example. There are different test requirements depending on the type of visa that you're applying for. So once you know what test you are taking, next thing that you need to understand is the test format. So the next thing that you would need to know, as I said, is test format. So IELTS test basically tests two types of skills. So your productive skills and your receptive skills. As the name itself suggests, productive skills in which you will be producing some kind of language, and receptive skills in which you will be receiving the language. So the assessors want to make sure that we are good both in producing the language as well as receiving the language. So four different skills are writing, speaking, listening, and reading. So I'm just gonna talk about basics of what these different components or different modules are, and I will give you some more sources which you can refer to in order to find more about all these modules. So writing module. In your writing module, you will have two tasks and you'll have 1 hour to complete these two tasks. So if you're taking academic test, you will have a report of approximately 20 minutes to write, and then an academic essay which you will be expected to complete in approximately 40 minutes. I will encourage you guys to take the notes while I'm speaking because it's gonna be a lot of information, and I don't want you guys to miss any of the information, because this is really important for anyone who is starting to prepare for the IELTS examination, or anyone who wants to know more about the IELTS exam. So speaking test, your speaking test is generally conducted on a different day. So your listening, reading and writing exam occurs on one day, and your speaking test is, when I say generally, I would say it's very unlikely that you'll get your speaking test on the same day. So it's generally scheduled on a different day, gives you enough time for the preparation, and obviously it's a different experience with a live examiner face to face on a speaking test. So your speaking test, you'll have 3 parts. So the first part will be the introductory part, in which the examiner is going to ask you questions about yourself. The next part is the long-term part, in which the examiner will give you a topic, and on that topic you'll have to speak for about 2 minutes. And finally is a two-way discussion, part 3, in which the examiner will ask you some of the general question based on what you have talked in part 2 of your speaking test. I hope that makes sense. We'll make some more videos on what speaking experience is like. Now, something which is really important, and as a beginner I want you guys to know, is about writing and speaking test assessment. So it's very subjective. Cambridge University, British Council and IDP has got something called band descriptors. So these band descriptors are available for free download on the IELTS official website, and I'll encourage you guys to go and download that and read more about how IELTS speaking and writing tests are marked. But I will talk about these in another video about IELTS speaking and writing test assessment criteria. So this is about writing and speaking test. About the receptive skills, so listening test, whether you're appearing for academic module or general training module, it's same. So the two tests which are not different for both academic and general training module are speaking and listening. So as firstly I'm talking about academic module, so I'll just say the whole test, and then we will talk about the different things which are different in the general training module. So in the listening test, what happens is you will hear a pre-recorded audio, and then you will have some questions being asked from what the speaker is saying in that audio. And it will have 4 different parts, and each of these parts will have different type of questions. For example, multiple choice questions, filling the blanks, questions based on the diagram, questions based on a map. So there are different type of questions, and I'll let you know the correct way to prepare for these different type of questions. But as of now, this is the listening test, and it's approximately 25 to 35 minutes. And it's not fixed, but you will have different types of recordings, and depending on that you will have different lengths, but it's approximately 30 to 35 minutes. The reading test, in academic module you'll get 3 academic paragraphs. From these reading comprehension, you'll get different set of questions like multiple choice questions, filling the blanks, short type questions, match the correct answers, and things like that. I'm guessing some of you might have done these type of questions in your school, so it's not difficult, but I will still encourage you to practice different set of questions in order to make yourself familiarize what IELTS writing module, what IELTS reading module is like. So this is about the academic modules. Now I'll tell you some of the changes in general training module. So as I said, speaking and listening modules are same, so you'll not have any change. So with the writing test, as I said, in academic module you'll have a report. In the general training test, as a task 1, you will get a letter. So a letter could be a formal, informal or semi-formal letter. So I'll talk about different type of letters in another video. So task 2 remains the same. You'll have an essay and still the academic essay, but the question could be more general. Now I just wanted to highlight with you guys, you might want to know that the questions that IELTS asks in general training module are different from the questions asked in the academic module. So when I say different, I'm talking about the theme of the questions. So generally in the academic papers, you'll get the questions more around academic themes. But in general training module, you'll get the themes around day-to-day life, more general things in as an essay question. The reading module, in general training module, you'll have more paragraphs but shorter paragraphs. So in academic, you'll have academic paragraphs, so some academic text is taken, but in general training module, you'll get texts based on advertisements, based on some news, based on some paper cuttings, or things like that. So very shorter paragraphs. Maybe you can get 5 to 8 body paragraphs. So 5 to 8 paragraphs, depending on the length of the paragraphs and the number of questions that you get. But one at the last, you'll get a big paragraph, which is like an academic paragraph, and you'll have about 13 questions in that paragraph. So this is about the pattern of the test. So all the modules are out of band 9. You will get out of band 9 from each of these modules. So for example, you get a band 6 in writing, you get band 7 in writing, you get band 7 in listening, you get band 6 in reading, and there you get your overall band score of 6.5. So you get an average of what you've got in all the 4 modules in your IELTS test. So now that you know the test format and you know the type of test that you are taking in the IELTS, I would encourage you guys to decide what's your aim. How much band score do you need to achieve? Know your band requirement, speak to your education consultant, or speak to the university that you're going to, or look on the official website of the country you're considering to migrate, and know the band requirement. I'll let you know the basics, the basic band requirement. So if you're appearing on a student visa, the minimum score that I would encourage you to get, which will be accepted by most of the universities, is an overall band 6.5 and not less than band 6 in any of these modules. So I will say an overall 6.5 and not less than 6 in any of the modules. But some of the universities might accept the score of 6 in all the 4 modules, or maybe with an English language course, with a Learn English language course, you might be accepted even with a less band score. But if you are choosing to prepare for IELTS, the minimum score that I will encourage you to get is at least a 6.5 overall, not less than 6 as a student. And if you're considering to apply for permanent residency, different countries have different band requirements. Some of the developed countries have the requirement like 777-8, so you get band score of 7 in reading, writing, and speaking, and a band score of 8 in listening. And some of the other developed countries have the requirement like 7 each or 8 each, depending on the country you're applying for. And it also depends on the profession that you're choosing. Some of the skilled profession might require you to get high band score of maybe 8 in listening and speaking, and 7 in reading and writing. So know your band requirements, and that's when you can start your IELTS preparation. So hope that helped you guys in answering some of your basic questions on IELTS preparation. Now I'm gonna talk about how and where to start. So let's get started. All right. So when students decide to take the IELTS exam, the most important questions that they ask me, how and where to start, and do I need to join any coaching classes? So for the first question, how and where to start? Since you now know the basic structure of the IELTS exam, I'd encourage you guys to take an IELTS exam and know the whole structure of the test. The best resource are Cambridge IELTS series. So the Cambridge University Press has launched some of the Cambridge IELTS books. So IELTS IELTS 1, 2, 3, 4 through to 15, 16 have been launched. So these can be ordered online, or you can purchase this book from any bookstore, and you can definitely look at some of the tests. So each of these books would have 4 tests. So for example, 4 listening tests, 4 reading, writing and speaking test. So at least take a full reading test and a full listening test. That will give you an approximate indication of what these modules are like and what type of questions are generally asked on IELTS papers. So I would like you to go with the latest books. So the latest books will have the latest version of IELTS. There has been some recent changes in the IELTS exam, not major, but some minor changes in the IELTS exam. So go for the latest available version of Cambridge IELTS, for example, 14, 15 or 16, and know the test structure. So give yourself 1 hour and make sure you do it in complete test environment, so you don't interrupt, and take the full test, at least listening, reading and writing. This will give you the structure of how IELTS test is like. And also this will give you an indication of what level you are on. You can find online on different websites how much band score will you get on number of questions, on number of correct answers. For example, if you have 30 correct questions on academic module, you'll get a band 7 in both listening and reading. And on the general training module, if you have 30 correct questions, you'll get a band score of 6. So do your listening and reading and see how you can sort of, or what sort of question types you are struggling with, and obviously working on those question types and trying some more questions to see if that has improved. I will make some more videos on different question types in listening and reading that will help you how you can quickly solve those questions. So this is about listening and reading and about preparing for speaking and writing tests. So these are very subjective tests. So you would want to know how your speaking and writing tests are assessed. So that's a very important thing in your IELTS preparation. So you're giving your examiner exactly the thing that they're expecting from you in your real IELTS exam, and that will definitely help you improve your score on IELTS exam. So do understand the IELTS band descriptors for writing and speaking. As I said, I will also make another video and we will talk in detail some little things that sound very easy to achieve, but they are not, and it will take some time to build on these skills on writing and speaking test. So this is how and where to start your IELTS preparation. The next question is, do I need to join any coaching classes? So as I said, every person is different and everyone's experience is different, but most students wouldn't need any trainer for listening, reading and speaking exam. The reason I say that is because your listening and reading tests are very objective, and all you need to do is just practice the different tests of listening and reading, and obviously keep practicing until you get your desired band score. So once you started getting your desired band score in the Cambridge IELTS tests, so that is approximately your band score that you're likely to get in the real exam. For example, if your 34 out of 40 questions are correct in both listening and reading module, you'll end up getting a band 7.5 in both listening and reading test if you're appearing in IELTS. And your speaking test, the reason I'm saying that it's easy to get desired band score is, but this is from my experience, most of the students who would come for the IELTS preparation, they will easily get the speaking band score that they desire. So writing is where you need good guidance, and I'm not saying that you will definitely need to join a coaching class, but what I would encourage you to do is at least get someone to give you some feedback on how you are doing in your writing module. Of course, get someone to give you feedback on speaking module as well, at least once or twice, so you know how you're doing in these modules, and they can let you know what things you need to fix in your writing and how you can boost your score in speaking. So again, everyone's experience is different, but most of the candidates that I know would need the most support in the writing module, and some of the academic students in reading module as well. So this covers these two important questions: how and where to start, and do I need the coaching classes? I hope that's helpful. Now, apart from that, I'm going to talk about what other things that will be helpful for you guys when you're preparing for IELTS exam. So these are some of the useful tips that I give to my students when they are preparing for the IELTS exam. So the first thing is read every day. I won't say that read a lot, even read one page, but if you're reading it, underline some of the good words that you can see in this, that you could find in the text, and see what context those words are used. Look at some of the sentence structures that the writer has used. The writer might have used some good sentence structures that you might like, and obviously wanted to use those sentence structures in your writing, and obviously good words that you can use in different contexts when you're writing. So this will help you improve your both reading and writing module. I'll tell you my personal preference. I would like to take out some of the good words and the context that they have used in, and also some of the good sentence structures that I like. I would also highlight those sentence structures and would write in a separate notebook or notepad for my future reference. The next thing is watch English movies or listen to podcasts. Now, it's your personal preference what you would like to watch or what you would like to listen to, but do watch something or do listen to something in English that will help you how native English language speakers talk, and would help you identify some of the most difficult words in English language. And also this will give you enough practice for your listening module and help you get good band score in listening module. The last and final tip is talk to someone in English, preferably someone who is competent in talking in English. Now, I know it's very difficult to find someone who we feel is competent, and this will actually help you get the model language pieces. So when you speak to someone who is competent in English, you'll get band 9 responses, or at least a good response, so you can definitely get some of the good piece of language from them and try to put that into your own speaking. So this is it. So these are some of the useful tips that I think you might want to consider when you're preparing for your IELTS test. I'll keep posting different lessons on different topics in the upcoming weeks. And obviously I would want you all to enjoy learning language and start preparing for your IELTS exam as soon as you can. I'll see you guys in another video. Till then, keep learning language and look after yourself, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. See ya.